All right, I pushed the wrong button. So this is going to be part two. But there's a picture of General Terrence J. O'Shaughnessy. This is the man who almost became our supreme leader. I think the term that they use in the article is the combatant commander. He is. This is from my own piece that I wrote about this. He was the head of North. He occupied O'Shaughnessy at the time in April or in March of 2020. Occupied the top spot at the United States Northern Command, U.S. Northcom. He has since retired and apparently consults for Elon Musk, and now apparently consults for Elon Musk at SpaceX. Yeah, all that's true. And you look at everything. You go to a Wikipedia article about this guy. And I guess he's a big deal. You know, he's somebody who's top brass in the military, 4-star general. There's a Wikipedia article about him that talks about a lot, but doesn't talk about how he was being discussed as the one who is about to take over, who's going to take over, because there was going to be this crisis, this enormous crisis, and all this chaos would be happening, domestic terror, food, the supply chains getting snarled, so people not getting food at their local grocery stores, and all kinds of other stuff, all kinds of scary stuff, and martial law. And at that time, this man was going to step in and be the combatant commander until, as the article puts it, until there was time to bring in a civilian government again. So when would that be, right? When would that be? Just remember how they were saying, well, when are you going to end this unconstitutional lockdown? And it was always like, we don't know yet. We'll see. We'll be ready for the long haul, though. And then, months and months and months went by in a lot of places. Not where I lived. Where I lived, things were lifted pretty rapidly. And I thank God that I lived in a place where that was the case. But in a lot of places, that was not the case for months. And maybe for about the length of a year. And it was only in the very next year, 2021, when things started opening up again. And then of course they were on some new crusade, some new mandate to try to get us to shoot this substance into our bodies, lest we cause our grandmothers to die. Remember all that? I'm sure you do. Of course you do. So this article, though, I mean, I've talked about all this before. I have a published work about the 2020 scamdemic, which you can look up if you're interested. It's on my it's on Amazon, but you can find links to it on my Substack page. But all this stuff, this is something that hasn't been talked about, and I think it should be. I think the fact that 5.5 years ago we were almost under a military takeover with this man who none of us know. Most of us don't even know who this guy is. He was going to be our new, not president, but our new supreme leader for an indeterminate length of time. Isn't that something that's kind of strange? Isn't that something that you find a little out there and crazy? And yet here it is. This is not InfoWars. as I say in my article, this is not InfoWars. This is not something that could be pointed to as being quote unquote misinformation by all the ninnies who, all the fact checking ninnies. And I don't believe in their intellectual honesty anyway. But my point is, you can't really say that about this article that's published in Newsweek. It'd be like saying that about an article published in Washington Post or New York Times or on CNN. You can't really, if you're one of the fag checkers who likes just complain about all the conspiracy theorists and their so-called misinformation. Well, this isn't that. This isn't. They don't give those kinds of people oxygen. They don't give those people space to write in an outlet like Newsweek magazine. So this definitely happened. If you're in the mainstream, or there's no way, or they wanted us to think this was going to happen in any case, and yet it's gotten so little coverage and so little discussion. Why? That's what I want to know.